Great morning, great afternoon, and great evening, whichever you may be tuning into the video, man. I'm excited this week to come and talk to y'all, man. And this week we talking about mindset, all right? So a lot of times a problem that we may have is that we think that when we get to a certain point that we can kind of turn off our brains, we could kind of turn off our knowledge, we can kind of turn off, our minds to be open to different ways or new ways to do things. That's when we get to the level of for example, for all of my college people, that's when we get to the level of being a master at something. So once we get a master's at something, we think that we have mastered that thing. And that's not always necessarily the case, because just because we've mastered that way and we found a way that works very efficiently, very, effectively, that we can stick to that way. We don't have to try new ways. That's the opposite of what you want to do. You don't want to cut off yourself to learning. You don't want to become a master of something into which you are now closed off into new ways in which to do that thing better. But you want to keep the mindset of a novice. All right, so just think about when you're starting a new habit, when you're starting something new, you're always open to taking advice. You're always open because you're learning. And so that's something that should never get away from you as you continue on your journey. You should always continually be learning. Whatever you're doing every single day, you should be learning at least one new thing. It doesn't matter what it is. Like, it don't matter what it is. You should at least be learning one new thing a day in your profession, in your career, and your hobby, and whatever it is you're interested in. You should be learning one thing per day. And if you're not learning one thing per day, you can be creating one thing per day. Something where you're constantly evolving, something where you're constantly working your mind in that area, and you opening it to new ways and new creativity and new energy. That's what you want to continue to do as you continue on your journey. Now, mindset, mindset. So novice mindset versus master mindset. It's good to be a master. It's great to be a master. You see all the masters, but just remember, each master, when they start to teach, they are surpassed by their student. Why are they surpassed by their student? They're surpassed by their student because their student has the mindset of a novice. All right, so when a master is teaching them, they're open to new ways, and they're continuing to learn those new ways from their master. And as they learn those new ways from their master, they get to a point to where they become better than their master because they've got all the information from their master that their master has learned. But that doesn't stop that novice from continually learning. They don't stop being the best that they could be once they discover that they're better than their master. Okay, yeah, I'm better than a master, but master isn't something else that you could teach me. Even once they become better than their master, they're still being trained by their master. Why? Because it's still things to learn. Even once you get better than somebody who's training you at something, that doesn't mean that they can't teach you something else to make you better along that journey. And you need that same mindset, you need that same mentality as you attack and as you learn things in your field, in your career, in your hobby, whatever it is, in your interests. So that's the mindset that you got to keep, man. You got to keep that mindset. It's important to keep that mindset because without keeping that mindset, you're going to stop living. If you stop learning, essentially you stop living. You're just existing. So I don't want you to get to a place where you're existing, man. We want you to get you to a place where your mindset is set on continual growth. And the only way it can be set on continual growth is to keep the mindset of a novice even once you become a master. That's it for this week, man. I'm going to holler at y'all next week, man. Until then, man, I'm telling y'all, man, just think about that. Novice mindset versus master mindset. And I'm just playing around with this video, so this one might not even go out. But, hey, man, look, I'm trying to tell you, I'm trying to put you on game. So just make sure y'all listening, man. You know what I'm saying? 2 ears, 1 mouth. Peace.